The future electric revolution is here, but an innovative electric vehicle has a dark side that you might not be aware of. The dangers of a plug-and-play society. Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, is famous for his high-flying futuristic visions. He had a vision that all transportation would be electric, and he has created Tesla to make this dream a reality. His visions and passions have led to the incredible success of Tesla. Technology is not an autonomous force capable of creating revolution or utopia, but rather a mirror that reflects society back to itself. And this reflection is often distorted by the biases, choices, and beliefs of the people who develop it. From Tesla Motors to Faraday Future, there is no shortage of new companies looking to make an impact on the auto industry and create their own niche for themselves in a quickly growing electric market. However, as with any new technology, there are also significant speed bumps along the way. Some people wonder if electric cars are the next best thing for the future, but some things say otherwise. Everyone believes that new technology will lead to human creativity, corporate transparency, and personal freedom. In the early 20th century, automobile companies popped up all over the US. Many of these companies went bankrupt because they were trying to compete with well-established car companies. Investors and swindlers alike took advantage of hopeful investors in the stock market. Hopeful makers of this newfangled vehicle were competing with each other and with investors for money. While some investors were big names and well-meaning, others just wanted to take advantage of people. And the majority of auto companies went under because they weren't making enough cars. This video is going to take an in-depth look at the amount of corruption we're talking about, and how much money has been lost due to embezzlement, and how big EV companies are involved in an ocean of lies. Not just this, I'll show you how EVs are not exactly environmentally friendly cars. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to Tech Equity to get the latest updates happening around the world in technology and the future. So you see, in the past year, many companies have made a big splash in the electric car world. Tesla Motors grabbed headlines with its new Gigafactory and Model 3 launch. Faraday Future emerged as a potential competitor to Tesla, with its billion-dollar plans for an electric car of its own. And several startups, such as Lucid Motors and Ativa, are promising their own vehicles will be ready for sale soon. But some experts say that these companies' promises are based on embellishments. Many electric car startups have received major investments in the last decade based on embellishment, exaggeration, and flat-out lies. Let me show you a recent incident that will explain all this better. Milton stepped down as Nikola's executive chairman on September 20 after Hindenburg Research called the company a convoluted scam and said it had made many misleading claims about its technology. Prosecutors said Milton's wrongful allegations included Nikola building an electric and hydrogen-powered Badger pickup truck from scratch, designing his own batteries, which he knew he was buying elsewhere, and soon successfully building Nikola a semi-trailer. A trailer that he knew didn't work. In particular, the prosecution alleges that Milton used a staged video to give the false impression that his Nikola 1 prototype semi-trailer was capable of moving on its own, when in fact, the car was simply rolling downhill. It was done in an attempt to boost the share price. The Securities and Exchange Commission also declared that Milton indeed had misled the investors regarding Nikola's technological advances, his own manufacturing capabilities, hydrogen production, truck orders, and financial prospects. The SEC said Nikola was not only guilty of Milton's alleged conduct, but also of making false statements from other material to investors regarding, among other things, the hydrogen fueling capabilities of his mobile trucks. The Securities and Exchange Commission said in its order that Milton began a public relations campaign to inflate and prop up Nikola's stock price before the company produced the car. General Motors has not closed the deal to acquire 11% stake in Nikola, a hydrogen and battery truck startup, and continues to assess the situation after allegations that found Trevor Milton lied about Nikola's technology and misled investors. Nikola responded to these claims, but the response reportedly did not disprove the underlying allegations. Among his claims, the revolutionary battery system didn't exist, and Nikola said he developed the technology and other components that were manufactured by others as his own. So finally, Mr. Milton, who left the company last September, faced 2 charges of securities fraud and 1 computer fraud for making false statements he made about the company. The car business is the biggest con game ever. The whole industry is about making money off of government subsidies and then marketing to convince the rest of us that these things are somehow environmentally friendly, said T. Boone Pickens, an oil tycoon turned alternative energy evangelist. So now you see what kind of embezzlement frauds are taking place in the electric market. The world's biggest automakers are investing billions in electric vehicles, but they are embezzling the funds. They are using the money to pay for huge bonuses and retirements for their executives. The money is being spent on luxury offices, expensive dinners, and lavish parties. The reason why automakers need so much money is that EVs are not really green. The carbon footprint of EVs is much more than when using petroleum-fueled vehicles because of the mining required to create all the batteries. The additional materials and energy involved in the production of a lithium-ion battery mean that the carbon emissions associated with the production of an electric vehicle are currently higher than those of a gasoline or diesel vehicle, up to 38% for some calculations. Even taking electricity emissions into account, studies show that an electric car is generally responsible for lower greenhouse gas levels than the average new gasoline car. The production of any car, electric or not, results in carbon emissions, whether it's the coal used to melt the steel for its bodywork or the diesel fuel burned to ship its electric components across the oceans. The government is already offering so-called additional subsidies to bring down the cost of electric vehicles purchased for personal use. If companies acted responsibly, the spread of electric vehicles would be a huge opportunity. Well, the other old-fashioned lie of what the company did rather than what they will have in the future is what happened in the Chinese market. One victim of the crackdown was the startup Byton, whose M-Byte electric SUV, unveiled in Frankfurt in 2019 and expected to start production in 2020, went off the rails along with the manufacturer. After iPhone assembler Foxconn struck a deal in early 2021 that was apparently meant to save bacon to bring M-Byte to vanish production, Byton was reorganized. This meant that the development of the M-Bytes had to be largely halted when it showed off the concept, or the company would have had to abandon its 2019 production target. Now Byton may never happen. With the rise of electric vehicles in the automotive industry, it is important to look at how the auto giants are getting their funds. The most prominent embezzlement and lies going on by electric vehicle automakers are that they have been stealing from investors as well as consumers and lying about the innovation and fuel economy. They are doing this because EVs cannot go more than 100 miles before charging, which forces you to charge at home every night. This creates a captive market for utilities, who also happen to be owners of EV charging stations. Electric vehicles usually cost 10 to 20K more than their combustion engine equivalents. In many cases, this is a good investment for the environment as well as your wallet, but that money paid is never recouped at the pump. The average battery-powered electric car gets less than 100 miles per charge, while their gas-powered counterparts can travel 400 miles or more on a single tank. As it turns out, the electric vehicle industry is riddled with embezzlement and corruption, so now you know the dark side of the electric future. EV manufacturers are leading the world. Their vehicles have enjoyed a lot of praise for their performance and design, but are they really playing a fair game in the market? Are EVs truly a savior or just another businessman trying to make his fortune? Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to never miss out on any latest video.